You ever start working with a new client and you feel like within like a week, really within like the first day, you're like, why did I agree to work with them? And now I got to work with them for another like 2 to 3 months. Like, how am I going to get through this? You ever feel like you just wish you could go back in time and tell the person off because they're an asshole, because they push boundaries with you, because there's these red flags that you just didn't quite see at the time and you wish you knew about so you could properly tell them to go kick rocks? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. 10 red flags that you have from potential clients and how to navigate differently in the space as a coach. What are 10 things that give you pause to lose respect for that person? 10 things you should watch out for. And notice how many of these you might be aware of, but you're not actually like using in your life. Like the things that like consciously you know, yeah, like I've heard of that before, but are you really doing it? Are you really letting that dictate how you set up a qualification process your clients need to pass through? Like, who gets through this gate? Not everyone's going to come through. You're the bouncer at the door. Not everyone's going to get access to work with you. So, who do you let through this door and who do you not? And there's going to be things in here that I know you don't know yet that I'm excited to go over with you. We're talking about 15 years in the coaching industry, 10 red flags that I picked up on. We're going to go through each of them. I'm going to show you how to navigate each of them effectively so you don't get stuck working with people that just drive you crazy. All right. Number one on this list is those that reduce your work to an ROI. These are the people that no matter what you say, no matter the depth you try to take them to, they keep coming back to, but how is this going to impact my bottom line? Like, what's the ROI in that? Or can you quantify that? Can you measure that? Like, exactly how much more of this am I going to get with you? And they're trying to reduce the transformation to this end result. That's a major red flag for you because as a coach, your work is not just transactional, right? It's transformative. You're going to bring about a new person, a new version of them. And so falling into that world where you have to explain and fit yourself into it, if they keep pushing you there, that's opportunity number one to back away from them. Red flag number two is a very tricky one that I'll never forget. This one is over flattery. I'll never forget having a client call, and we actually had 2 calls together. The first one went really well. I really did a good job of digging into her challenges and what she wants and her dreams and even her fears, and she kept telling me, like, "You understand me so well, you really get me." Yes, there was a genuine excitement. I feel like we had something real. We had this real connection. And we get to the second call, and it was more of the same. And now it's like, "You are just awesome at this." Like, "Yes, like, you are a hell of a coach. This is incredible. I love everything you're sharing. Yes, 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 yes." And then I'm like, "All right, so here's the price." And she's like, "Yeah, bye." I'm like, What do you mean? Like, what?" It was so confusing to me. And luckily, I had the call recorded. I went back and I showed it to a mentor, and he was like, "Dude, she was blowing smoke up your ass the whole time." I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, she's I thought we have something real. I'm doing such a good job listening to her, and she's telling me it's awesome." And he's like, "Yeah, but you can hear it in the tone in her voice. You could hear that fake, that fake agreeable voice you get? It's like that, oh yeah. But it's not like, oh yeah, or ooh yeah." When something like really lands, it's like, oh yeah. He's like, she's giving you this incongruence, this constant feedback that she's not really resonating with what you're saying. She's just giving you lip service, dude. You got to see that. And I realized I didn't see it because I was actually like my ego was really getting flattered and that felt good to me. And so you have to distinguish when someone is telling you, like, "You're awesome at this." Like, "Yes, I want to work with you," when it's genuine and when it's not. And when you start getting too much flattery, you actually want to call that out immediately. And you want to locate how that people pleasing tendency is showing up in other areas in that person's life. And that also shows that you're listening between the lines, unlike me in that story. That's the second thing. The third red flag is when they negotiate with you on price. Now, I understand if you make an offer and they're like, "Look, I really want to work with you. I just flat out don't have the money." And they're giving you all indications of like, if we can find a way to come together with this, I'm game. I will do whatever it takes. Or if you at least give me a little bit of time, I can get the money and then let's work together. That's different. That's different. This is what I'm talking about is like when somebody, like they're like, "Well, is that all the best you can do? Like, what if could you maybe take a little bit off?" And it's like, dude, like this isn't like negotiating for rugs outside of a market in New Delhi. You know, this is talking about your life. This is talking about a deep level of impact across the board for you. This isn't us negotiating like over a car. Like, come on, dude. And so when you get that kind of energy, that's where you want to immediately distance yourself. And that's where you want to just hold very firm with your price. Nope, it's not budging. No, I know this is worth a lot. And it sounds like you're just trying to get the best deal. And I don't play that game. And then you move on. And that's all you have to say. They don't need an explanation for this. You're holding your value. And it's not just for that person, it's for the next person and the next person and the next person. It's for you to have a greater command of your value. So it's a massive sign of disrespect. Don't take it. All right, next, where are we now? We are on number 4. People who waste your time, people who are late. This is a big one. And it shows up also with number 9 on this list. It's the people that they say they're going to be there at 11 and they're just not there at 11. You know, they're there at like 11:07 or 11:10. I understand if they're running behind, if they give you a quick little notice and they're like, hey, I'm running a few minutes late, that's fine. But when it becomes a pattern and when it becomes someone continuously just taking your time for granted, that's a red flag to you because that's how they're going to show up in the coaching session. Like it's very rare to have someone show up in like the discovery call process or the initial call and then show you a behavior and then suddenly like they're going to be different when they're working with you. It's going to be more of the same every single time. That's also part of why they're working with you, right? So you want to start to take this in and just anticipate, all right, do I want more of that tardiness, that lack of respect? Probably not. Call it out in the person. And if you don't see a willingness or desire to change, drop them, move on. Next up, this is a big one. People who badmouth other coaches. These are the people that show up on the call with you and they're like, well, yeah, I tried coaching before, but my coach sucked. Like he was very surface level. He never really pushed the envelope and they just didn't do a good job. And they don't even have to say like, well, you do a good job, but it's the implied energy, you know? It's like, well, all the experiences I've had with this before have sucked and you're probably going to be the same, right? Like that's what I can assume, right? Like maybe you do a little dance, you do a little Irish jig for me right now, and you show me how amazing you are doing this dance. And now I like, okay, yeah, this is good. Oh, I like you more. And now like it's really eating away at your confidence, your sense of value. So whenever I hear like bad mouthing of other people, I go like, hey, cool. Sounds like you didn't have the best experience. Luckily, I am not that person. And luckily you are not the same either. So let's move on. And that's how you handle that. Because if that energy stays there, even though they're not directing it at you, subconsciously they are. You know, it's like guilt by association. And for the same logic, it's why I frequently do not suggest, in fact, I rarely would ever suggest when you introduce yourself for the first time saying, I'm a coach. I'm a coach. Because now you're in the same bucket, the same category as everyone else, that every other coach in their life that's ever not gotten them the results or has just been this like cheesy like life coach person. You know what I mean? Like I help you live your best life. So do you want to like finally go for your dreams? Like you want to finally go for it? Yeah, you want to make it real? And it's like it's guilt by association. So I like to be more fine-tuned. And if even someone's like, well, like you're a coach, I'm like, yeah, like that's a part of what I do, but you're not going to box me in. You're not going to, oh, he's a consultant. Oh, he's a coach. He's a blank. My title is infinite. The ways that I help you are very specific. Moving on to the next one. People that ask for a detailed breakdown of each session. And this is similar to those that ask for a proposal. Now, I know in consulting and in some contexts, a proposal is appropriate. I get it, especially in corporate. They all want a proposal. Fine. All right. You want a proposal, you got a proposal. But when someone is disrespectful enough to ask for a detailed breakdown of each session, it is a red flag. It means that they are evaluating what is on paper, not on the real experience they've already felt with you leading up to this point. And you need to call that out. And it could be feedback for you too. Like, even though these are red flags, it's also feedback for you to recognize, like, hey, there's something that I'm communicating that's just not landing in that person. Like, we're not going deep enough, or I'm not bringing enough truth here. I'm not being real enough with them. I'm not calling out the elephant in the room enough. Okay, all right, maybe I need to look at that in myself with how I create that experience of value. And maybe I can get better at that. But when it comes down to not just a proposal, but like I need to know exactly what we're going to cover in each session. It's like, dude, do you not trust me? Because it sounds like flat out, not only do you not trust me, you have zero trust. Like that trust is gone, man. It's gone. So yeah, like if you have that extreme amount of trust, like it also impacts the level of trust and faith that I can put in you. Like I understand it's going to be a little scary and uncomfortable. I understand like you're making an investment and it's natural to be uncomfortable. It'd be kind of weird if they were just like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Yeah, pay you $10,000. Okay. Like also, if that's the feedback you get, raise your freaking prices. But because they just don't have much skin in the game psychologically. But when you're getting this like pressure to be detailed like that, like I need a detailed breakdown, it's like, dude, it doesn't sound like we're meant to work together. You want to really find like who are you meant to work with, where it's not just like, man, it would be nice to get the money as a client. I know I could help them. And man, it really seems like they need someone like me. It feels it feels meant to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just feel like your purpose really speaking on your behalf here. It's like, this is why I do my work. Like you're the kind of person that when I decided to do this, I knew in my bones, this is who I need to help. And that's the energy that you want to be in. And so when someone like really just displays a complete lack of faith in me, it's like, I don't think we're meant to work together, man. It's going to be too big of a gap for us to cross. And if I'm trying to cross it, also, what a pain in the ass to have to sit down and type all that out. You don't have that kind of time. And you want to respect yourself much more than that. All right, next one. Number 7, those that push your boundaries. So those that either while they're thinking about hiring you or even from the jump, it's like, hey, like, but I don't know. My last coach I worked with, like he was available on weekends. So will he be available on weekends too? It's like, no, dude, I got a family. I got kids. I'm going to be spending time with them. I'm not on call 24/7. I'm not Dr. MD Byron. That's at your like beck and call. Like, hey, dude, like I need you right now. You got a second? Like I have a life. Like there's that great movie, What About Bob? Have you seen that movie? What About Bob? Richard Dreyfuss, Bill Murray. And Richard Dreyfuss is this therapist. And Bill Murray keeps pushing the boundaries. And he's like having these psychotic breakdowns. And the therapist is like, dude, I'm on vacation. I am out of the office. Do not talk to me. But Bob keeps pushing the boundaries and he keeps showing up and he eventually shows up on vacation with him and he's still pushing the boundary. Even on vacation, he's still worming his way into their family, like pushing each boundary, breaking each one down until Richard Dreyfuss goes insane at the end of the movie. Learn from that. Don't be that person. When you set boundaries, if they are not respected, that's only going to continue. It's only going to amplify. Not only is it going to continue, it's going to get worse. They're going to find more and more ways to push the boundaries with you, and they're going to be a nightmare that just sucks all the energy, all the life out of you as a coach. They're that client vampire. And you want to watch out for the client vampires, those that are there just to drain your energy. You want to take out the garlic and the cross and beat them over the head and say, be gone, bad client, get out of here. And yeah, you don't need that in your life. All right, next up. This is a big one. Passive agreement. Kind of similar to those who overly flatter you. You got to watch out for this. You're hearing the right things. You're hearing like, yeah, oh yes, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yes. You're hearing the yes, but you're not hearing what I would call active agreement. You're not hearing a somatic agreement, right? Here's the difference, right? So passive agreement would be if I'm your potential client and you're telling me about how we're going to work together. I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Active agreement would be like, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. You see how one, it's a force field. It's like a deflection. It's like, yeah. The other lets it land. You're getting evidence that it's landing on that person. They're letting it kind of absorb into their system, right? It's not this like rejection. And so even though it's weird, like you're hearing the same thing, it's literally the same exact language. Yeah. There's such a difference between both worlds. And so you're looking for that it's a deflective force field energy. It's like, yeah. And usually you get that as a defense mechanism because people don't feel comfortable having you pry into a deeper layer of their life. And so you get kind of like I understand, it's that intellectual buffer. It's like, I understand what you're talking about. I understand. I've wrapped my head around all this. Yeah. And then you don't get to the deeper stuff. And so when you start getting that, it's critically important to call it out. And I don't make it a judgmental thing. I don't, because you're going to get a lot more defensiveness if you say something weird like, "Hey, like I'm noticing like you're saying yes, but like you're really not being open right now." Like, well, you're going to get more of a closed offness for sure. But you can call it out instead and say like, "Hey, like I notice like I'm hearing you say yes, but I'm also hearing like there's you like not wanting to go into that deeper. Is that true? Am I crazy? Or is that true?" And now you're having a more real conversation. You're out of the yes. And so if you go through the whole conversation, you're getting passive agreement. By the time you get to the end and you're like talking about something real, like the money and the investment, you're going to get passive agreement. You're going to get, yeah, sure. Sounds good. Yeah. Let me think about it. Yeah. Great. Let me get back to you. And that's not at all what you are looking for. All right, moving on. We are on number 9, showing up in the car, showing up distracted. I get, people are busy. If you're working with people that have like careers that can't really set their own schedule, maybe they got to pop out on a lunch break and that's all they got. I get that. But people that are like driving and taking the call with you, or people that are in their office, but it's obvious they're heavily distracted, do not go through the discovery call process. Do not make an offer to them at all. Like, forget about it, because they're just not all there. And you're talking about something that demands presence. This isn't something you're just willy-nilly throwing out with them. Like, "Hey, we're here to talk about like your new air conditioning system." Or like, "Hey, like I think your house could use a new set of lights over your disposal so you can see over the sink better." Like, you're talking about something like that's literally deeply consequential to their entire life a lot of times when you're a coach. So you don't need to tolerate this. You don't need to put up with someone giving you like "Oh yeah, no, I wanted to make sure I got to our call, so I'm good," and like driving, and then you see them and they're like kind of looking at you, but like most of the time they're just like this the whole call. Like, yeah, like that's, dude, like we need a connection. And if we can't have a connection, if we can't have full presence, we have nothing. So nope, reschedule. Let's reschedule. Let's make sure that you connect when you're more available, and they will respect you more for that. The fear is that like you're going to offend them or you might lose a client. If that makes you lose the client, they were never yours to begin with. They were never serious to begin with. And so this is just a great way of you actually seeing that as a litmus test. All right, finally, number 10, those that reject your truth, those that want to be placated. All right, what do I mean by that? Well, when you get to that elephant in the room, when you get to the dynamic, the uncomfortable thing that they don't want to hear, that they need to hear, and you start sharing it, and you get some of this works in tandem with like the yeah thing. Like, this happens a lot too. But you start sharing it, and for you, there's no agenda. It's not like you need to be right or they need to be validated, but you say it and you're like, "Yeah, this is what's going on." And then they're like, "No, I don't think so. That's not what's going on in me. No, I think it's more this." And then they're certain it's this other problem, but you're certain it's not that. If they keep wanting to be placated with that and keep wanting to dodge around it, ultimately that is a decision point for me. Because what I will say is like, "Look, that's the truth that I see in you. And if I'm not allowed, or if you don't want to receive that truth, I can't be of service to you at all. I can bullshit you. Like, I could be like a superficial friend for you, not a best friend, because your best friends will tell you the truth, but I can be like a superficial acquaintance, and I can kind of tell you what you want to hear. Is that what you want? Or do you want to hear like what is actually showing up that's preventing you from getting to where you want to go?" And let them decide. But you don't have to put up with that. Now, to some degree, all people are going to kind of shift around hearing the truth, because the truth makes people squirm. But if you have enough trust with someone, if you have built enough rapport, if you have enough curiosity, if it's not like you're lording the truth over them, like we all hate that person that's like, "I know this and I'm right and you're not." And it's like that hierarchy, right, between both of you. It's like, "Hey man, can I point this out?" Or, "Hey, do you mind if I share this with you? Something that I see that I don't know if you see it yet, but it actually means a lot to you. Might be a little uncomfortable, but can I share it? Yes. Okay, here it is. I don't need that person to go, wow, no kidding, no way, whoa, mind blowing. Like a lot of the times, realistically, you're going to get like a deer in headlights kind of reaction. And that doesn't freak you out and you stay on that, you can explore that with someone. And that openness that they have to you is ultimately then what dictates really the extent to which you can have an amazing coaching agreement together. But if they're, immediately like pushing back on that, it's not a good fit for you because then you're going to continue playing that game throughout the entire agreement. That's not what you want. You want to get to the truth. And that's ultimately what they're there to buy from you, the truth that no one else will tell them. And you either are committed enough, caring enough, integral enough to say that, or you're more concerned about what they think of you or losing the client. And that's ultimately what is at stake throughout this entire exchange. And so by you not only knowing what these 10 red flags are and when you should really look out for them in how you navigate the sales process as a coach, or at least choose who you want to work with, not only should you watch out for them, but you should ask yourself, in this conversation with my next client, how thorough of a job am I doing staying in my integrity? How well am I respecting my value, knowing I'm a gift? I'm not here to pitch myself. I'm not here to kind of do a dog and pony show, a dance monkey dance routine to show you how amazing I am. I'm here to just serve in truth. I'm here to point things out. And the more that you stick to that, the more you stick to your guns and you stick to these principles, the more people actually see you as the leader and the dynamic, and the more they trust you. The more they trust you, that when the shit hits the fan, you're going to hear me. You're going to tell me what I need to hear. You're going to give me the kick in the ass I need. That's the value they're looking for. And so that person is unconsciously testing you with all of these throughout these dynamics. And whether or not you pass comes down to whether or not you stay in integrity with yourself. So those are the 10 red flags to watch out for. What's been your biggest red flag? I know I missed, there's a lot more. What's been your biggest red flag? Like, leave me a comment, let me know. And then if this resonated with you as well, give me a like, subscribe if you haven't yet. Stick around, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.